Tyler Perry is accused of sexual assault. And so the lawsuit apparently alleges that sexual comments and remarks were made to Derek Dixon. For those who don't know, he played on the Oval. He was also in Ruthless. In regards to wanting a sexual relationship, he apparently made several advances. He actually groped him at one point. He jumped in bed with him at one point and groped him again. There were various, or allegedly did these things. And so in 2024, he filed a complaint with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, hoping that he'll get some action taken against Tyler Perry Studios and whatnot. And apparently the show producers did not do anything. And so he ended up quitting the show. And so, with that being said, while details are still emerging, the internet is actually split on this between like disbelief, disappointment, and there's been more discussions about power, image, and accountability. So, I would love to get you guys' thoughts on this entire situation.
Whew. Tyler Perry didn't see that coming. I'm sure he didn't. But I'm confused. The EOC checked it out, and they, I guess, moved on. You said the producers didn't do anything, but I'm assuming they didn't do anything because the EOC didn't do anything because we didn't hear about anything. So let's slow the outrage train. You know what I'm saying? Read carefully through the accusations. I mean, it sounds more like he flirted with the line and he crossed it. Now I don't know about this jumping into bed stuff. What I've seen in the messages that were sent between them, because I wasn't there. They got footage of him jumping into bed. If he was willing to testify about it, whatever. All I've been able to get access to are the messages they say the man sent back and forth to somehow incriminate him and make it sound kind of weird and it's skeezy. And I didn't see anything there. I saw a man who definitely was shooting his shot. He was shooting his shot, but I already knew Tyler. And he dressed up in the dress for years. I don't know anybody surprised. So I expected he to be shooting his shot at dudes. I'd heard about Tyler Perry anyway. So it was no thing, whatever. So I'm saying timing matters. So we know these cases tend to surface right before a major production, business move, or media rollout. You can call it coincidence. I wouldn't. I'll call it strategy. So, I mean, because the guy went for money, and then when that didn't work, he went for more money. So here's my thing. If Tyler did something truly inappropriate, then let the law deal with it. Right. But if this is like just somebody, which I think it is, stretching uncomfortable movements or uncomfortable moments into allegations for a payout, then that cheapens the real victims out here who might also be Tyler Perry victims for all I know. Or might be actual Tyler Perry victims for all I know. Who knows? But it does weaponize the court of public opinion against him, kind of like what happened with Diddy. I'm not saying Diddy's innocent. I'm just saying it's a pattern here. Black men in power are easy targets because the world still doesn't know what to do with a black man who has power, who owns a studio, who has his future in his hands, who can write his own ticket, and isn't afraid to be vocal. And we have to protect truth. Now, I'm not saying everything Tyler Perry does at his studio is truth, gospel, or even quality, or actually reflective of us. But you seem to like it, you know. But we got to protect reputations too from unwarranted attacks. So I would like to see what comes out. Let's not act like we haven't seen this game before. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm definitely taking the same stance I had on a lot of these high profile cases. I'm going to relax. I'm going to wait for the evidence to come out, see how everything plays out. I kind of did a little digging. This goes back to, was it, I think, 2021. When he meets the guy, makes some promises. Even the text messages, looking through those, they're suggestive, but there's nothing. I didn't see a smoking gun. Maybe some more things will come out in the future. Because the problem is, once this happens, and even if nothing comes of it, it's a where do I go to get my reputation back kind of thing, right? There's a big, from what I see right now, it appears to be possibly a quid pro quo. Again, we're only getting one side of it. There hasn't been a thorough investigation of it. Uh, a lot of these cases, they just go straight for the lawsuit. And I generally wonder why no one ever really files a criminal charge. And I think it's the burden of proof that, as I understand it, there's a little lower threshold for proof in just filing a civil case versus a criminal case. So I think that's why these things go that way. But if Tyler Perry really wants to clear the name, hopefully his people will come out, make a statement. But the guy's claiming he's got insomnia, anxiety, and I know he lost money from leaving the show. If there's anything there, if there's some smoking gun, he should definitely have it presented now, sooner rather than later. But if nothing comes of it, it's a where do I go to get my reputation back? And I'm pretty sure, at least in Atlanta, it would probably be blacklisted from the industry. I mean, Tyler Perry definitely got that kind of juice in the entertainment industry. So hopefully nothing. There's no smoke. There's no there. I know we're fond of the whole Medea thing. I know he does that. Not, that he likes guys, that's cool. All love, you like what you like. But, if it's a quid pro quo thing, then he's got to have a lot of evidence. And this has been going on for a number of years. I would think if it were me, I would be documenting all of this stuff. I would always have my phone on record, just a bookload of text messages. So if this has been going on for a while, he should have a gravy train of this should be open and shut. But we'll see what comes out. I'm reserving judgment.